The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Men have less scruple in offending one who is beloved than one who is feared, for love is preserved by the link of obligation, which, owing to the baseness of men, is broken at every opportunity for their advantage, but fear preserves you by a dread of punishment, which never fails. Virtue gives birth to tranquility, tranquility to leisure, leisure to disorder, disorder to ruin, and similarly, from ruin, order is born, from order virtue, from virtue glory, and good fortune. Men live peacefully as long as their old way of life is maintained and there is no change in customs. He who innovates will have for his enemies all those who are well off under the existing order of things, and only lukewarm supporters in those who might be better off under the new, partly from the incredulity of mankind, who will never admit the merit of anything new until they have seen it proved by the event. Men will not look at things as they really are, but as they wish them to be, and are ruined. Necessity is what impels men to take action, and once necessity is gone, only rot and decay are left. For no man is found so prudent as to know how to adapt himself to these changes, both because he cannot deviate from the course to which nature inclines him, and because, having always prospered while adhering to one path, he cannot be persuaded that it would be well for him to forsake it. And so, when occasion requires the cautious man to act impetuously, he cannot do so and is undone. Whereas had he changed his nature with time and circumstances, his fortune would have been unchanged. No proceeding is better than that which you have concealed from the enemy until the time you have executed it. To know how to recognize an opportunity in war and take it benefits you more than anything else. Nature creates few men brave. Industry and training takes many. Discipline in war counts more than fury. Fear is as dangerous an enemy as resentment. Men are so self-complacent in their own affairs and so willing to deceive themselves that they are rescued with difficulty from this pest. If they wish to defend themselves, they run the risk of becoming contemptible. There is a general note to be noted here. People should either be caressed or crushed. If you do them minor damage, they will get their revenge, but if you cripple them, there is nothing they can do. If you need to injure someone else, do it in such a way that you do not have to fear their vengeance. There is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. If you only notice human proceedings, you may observe that all who attain great power and riches make use of either force or fraud, and what they have acquired, either by deceit or violence, in order to conceal the disgraceful methods of attainment, they endeavor to sanctify with the false title of honest gains. Those who either from imprudence or want of sagacity avoid doing so are always overwhelmed with servitude and poverty. For faithful servants are always servants, and honest men are always poor, nor do any ever escape from servitude but the bold and faithless, or from poverty but the rapacious and fraudulent. God and nature have thrown all human fortunes into the midst of mankind, and they are thus attainable rather by rapine than by industry, by wicked actions rather than by good. Hence it is that men feed upon each other, and those who cannot defend themselves must be worried. Men change their rulers willingly, hoping to better themselves, and this hope induces them to take up arms against who rules, wherein they are deceived because they afterwards find, by experience, they have gone from bad to worse. Men judge more from appearances than reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Everyone sees your exterior, but few can discern what you have in your heart. The wish to acquire is no doubt a natural and common sentiment, and when men attempt things without their power, they will always be praised rather than blamed. But when they persist in attempts that are beyond their power, mishaps and blame ensue. Yet the way men live is so far removed from the way they ought to live that anyone who abandons what is for what should be pursues his downfall rather than his preservation. It was the verdict of ancient writers that men afflict themselves in evil and weary themselves in the good, and that the same affects results from both of these passions. From whenever men are not obliged to fight from necessity, they fight from ambition, which is so powerful in human breasts that it never leaves them no matter to what rank they rise. The reason is that nature has so created men that they are able to desire everything but are not able to attain everything, so that they desire being always greater than the acquisition. Their results discontent with their possession and little satisfaction to themselves from it. From this arises the changes in their fortunes, for as men desire, some to have more, some in fear of losing their acquisition, there ensues enmity and war, from which results the ruin of that province and the elevation of another.